If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Thanks for tuning in to TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up. I'm Leah Haslage. The Cleveland Orchestra held its 36th annual celebration concert in tribute to Martin Luther King Jr., and like every Cleveland Orchestra performance, it was spectacular. Assisted by the Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Chorus, several popular selections were performed, including the uplifting song, "Jesus is a Rock in a Weary Land."
I would not be a sinner. I'll tell you the reason why. I'm afraid my Lord might cross my name and I'll be ready to die.
Before the concert started, Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson presented the 2016 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service Award to 3 deserving individuals: Toussaint Joshua Miller, the youngest ever to receive the award, a posthumous Lifetime Achievement Award to Congressman Louis Stokes, and a Lifetime Achievement Award to the Honorable Judge Jean Morrell Capers, who at 102 years old is the oldest recipient in its history.
Throughout her life, Judge Capers has been an enabler of social equality and justice, and long before there were marches during the Civil Rights Movement. So please help me congratulate Judge Jean Morrell.
The Cleveland Clinic held their annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Celebration event at the Intercontinental Hotel, and it was at this event that Congresswoman Marcia Fudge won a very prestigious award. TV20 reporter Dan Monroe has the story.
It was a day of remembering, a day of reflecting, and a day of honoring at Cleveland Clinic's annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Celebration. Congresswoman Marcia Fudge was honored to receive the Cleveland Clinic's Lifetime of Service Award, and in her speech reflected on why she chose public service.
I did not choose public service. Public service chose me. It is what I do. It is what I love to do. It is what I am good at. And so I hope in your life you find something that brings you the joy that this brings me.
I caught up with Congresswoman Fudge, and she spoke of her admiration for Dr. King.
I really do try to live it. I try to make sure that I form partnerships. I try to make sure that I let people know that I care. I try to lead and be a voice for people who have no voice. And so I think that in a lot of ways I make an effort every day to do the things that he did.
The keynote speaker for the event was the Reverend Dr. Otis Moss Jr., pastor emeritus of the Olivet Baptist Church.
Dr. King cut down at 39 on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel, gave to the world a committed life, and that life is immortal.
At the Intercontinental Hotel, for TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
Sustainable Cleveland kicked off the year of transportation with a fair held at the Rotunda of Cleveland City Hall. Jania McGowan, Chief of Cleveland's Office of Sustainability, talks about this year's theme.
Well, this is the kickoff for the Year of Sustainable Transportation, and every year, as part of Mayor Jackson's Sustainable Cleveland 2019 initiative, we have a theme year for sustainability. And 2016, that's focused on sustainable transportation, biking, busing, walking, carpooling, reducing single car driver trips, and even things like alternative fuels and electric vehicles.
Chief McGowan says there is a lot being planned this year to support the theme of transportation.
We think we're going to get a lot accomplished in 2016. We are expecting to launch a bike share program in collaboration with Cuyahoga County and Bike Cleveland in the spring. We have a I Move Cleveland selfie contest this year, #IMoveCLE, where we're asking Clevelanders to take selfies of themselves making sustainable transportation choices. We're going to put all those photos together and do some contests and prizes around that. In partnership with NOACA, we have a business challenge around commuting and employee behavior around sustainable transportation. And we're also working to implement 70 miles of new bike infrastructure by the year 2018, and we started doing that back in 2014.
All types of vendors turned out for this year's fair, promoting ways to take clean and efficient transportation to the next level. It was a huge success. If you want more information on Cleveland's Office of Sustainability and the events they have planned for this year, visit their website at sustainablecleveland.org. It may be hard to believe, but NASA Glenn Research Center is celebrating 75 years this year. We went to the center where they kicked off the Diamond Anniversary in a very special way.
When I was going up on our first orbital flight, one of the things that I've always gotten a kick out of was Scott Carpenter's remark there right at the last, just as I was getting ready to launch, was Godspeed, John Glenn, and that's become sort of a thing we've had repeated a number of times. So to all of you there, I wish the same thing. Godspeed and happy anniversary, and hope we can see all of you then.
Chief Ribka was on hand to deliver this message from Mayor Frank Jackson.
But his message and instructions to me to share with you is that 75 years of just tremendous accomplishment and impact, not just on this city, this region, but on this country, as has been pointed out. But his message was starting today and going forward over the next decades, and the importance of the work and the workforce here at NASA Glenn in not just the import of this place to Cleveland, but the importance to this country and the international impact of the work that's here. The City of Cleveland stands ready as your partner at Cleveland Hopkins Airport, a neighbor, but stands ready to assist and support the work of NASA Glenn, the workforce, and to leverage that research and that technology for even more important work here out of the Cleveland marketplace. So again, on behalf of Mayor Jackson, Mr. Free, I'm honored to present to you this proclamation commemorating 75 years and tremendous success going forward in the next years to come.
Thank you very much.
They even recreated the groundbreaking that first took place in January 1941. To learn more about upcoming Glenn 75 events, visit nasa.gov. A young girl named Destiny Rice started raising money to help Hank Atkins, a Cleveland police officer that was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, by having a lemonade stand. Wanting to raise more money for Hank and other officers in need, she jumped in the deep end with a bigger fundraiser at Gunning Park Recreation Center.
Well, my grandma and my mom saw that he had gotten ALS, and so I decided to take all the money from my lemonade stand and give it to him instead of giving it to like something else that nobody really needs or buying something for me. So I raised all kinds of money for him and gave it to his family. I started it to raise money for him and his family and to help any other officers that are in need. along the way.
So today's event is a swim relay between Cleveland Police, the Cleveland City Council, and a team led by Destiny Rice, who is the little girl who started the Hank Atkins lemonade stands in 2014, raising money for Hank Atkins. The Hank Atkins Hero Fund is a nonprofit that we started named after Officer Hank Atkins, who was a Cleveland police officer stricken with ALS. Hank passed away in November from the disease, and we wanted to continue his name on and do something in his honor. So the Hank Atkins Hero Fund helps any Cleveland police officer who becomes incapacitated due to a chronic illness. If Hank were alive today and healthy, he would be the first one to reach out to a fellow police officer, so we're going to do that for him. We're hoping that the money raised today will go towards our fund and help other officers that may be in need due to chronic illness.
The police officers also used the opportunity to do more than raise money.
Today we're here to have a good time with the kids, cops kids, and we want to do this for a few reasons. One is for the Hank Atkins Hero Fund. We're raising some money to help out police officers that have debilitating or chronic illnesses, and we're also here for the cops to get together with some kids, have some fun. And thirdly, we're here to promote swim safety. Our rec centers have safety programs and swim programs for kids, and we want parents to take advantage of that. Every year there's a tragedy that could be avoided if a child knew how to swim. So we want you to come to our rec centers, call Gunning or any of the rec centers that have pools, check out their programs and have your kids come down here, learn how to swim so that if something does happen and they need it, they'll be safe.
We'll be right back with more Weekly News Wrap-Up.
Hey Cam, thanks a lot for coming to my school today.
No problem, Nate.
I promise to exercise and eat right.
Don't forget 60 minutes of play a day, right?
And I'll grow up to be big and strong like you.
Absolutely.
And play in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
And be drafted #1.
Maybe.
And become the starting quarterback of the Panthers.
Okay.
You can be my backup.
Excuse me?
And make Panthers fans forget about you.
What?
And become your mom's favorite player.
Whoa.
I'm just loosening my arm.
Welcome back to TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up. February is Black History Month, and the City of Cleveland had a big kickoff celebration in the City Hall Rotunda. Jacqueline Muhammad, who is co-chair of the city's Black History Month Planning Committee, talks about this year's theme, the Faces of Sacrifice.
Black History Month Planning Committee this year selected the theme, the Faces of Sacrifice. And as we were putting the platform together, we thought about all the historians of old, the Martin Luther King and Marcus Garvey and Harriet Tubman and W.E.B. Du Bois, and those historians or history makers are absolutely important to our community. But because we're the City of Cleveland, and we like to really charge our fellow citizens, with responsibilities to do something during this great month.
Several people won special awards at this year's luncheon, including Dr. Antoine Moss and local motivational speaker and author Elenia Holloway Carpenter.
It was such an honor today to be recognized from the City of Cleveland for the Faces of Sacrifice. It was amazing. There were some great other honorees here who are doing amazing things here in the City of Cleveland. I absolutely believe that it takes a village to help our young people, and that what was here today in the City Hall. It was the village, and I was so glad to be a part of it.
It's such an honor. One of the quotes I go by is, leaders should be the light to knowledge and exposure, as opposed to the door to failure and closure. So all my life I've been really trying to be that leader, leading other people to the light and knowledge in hopes of making this world a better place. So it's just a wonderful honor to be recognized by the City of Cleveland for some of the sacrifices I've made in my life to help others live their dreams.
The crowd was brought to their feet when a young man named Toussaint Miller, who you saw earlier, gave a very passionate speech reflecting on the sacrifices people made to make him the young man he is today.
As I reflected upon the theme of this day, Cleveland, the Faces of Sacrifice, I was overwhelmed with an attitude of gratitude. I thought about how I have been raised to understand that I can stand on solid ground because of the many sacrifices that those known and unknown have made. In other words, Cleveland, there would be no me without you.
Keep watching TV 20 to see the kickoff celebration in its entirety, and be sure to check out the Cleveland City Hall homepage for a list of all the special Black History Month events that will be taking place. The City of Cleveland kicked off its annual Wellness Works initiative for city employees in the City Hall Rotunda with a wellness fair consisting of vendors, freebies, and various health-related activities. Attendees had fun doing the hula hoop for prizes, getting massages, and then going on to visit the numerous vendors, including iMed Vision Care, the Pulp Juice and Smoothie Bar, and Medical Mutual, just to name a few. A yoga demonstration by the Studio Cleveland was held that gave everyone in attendance a chance to try the relaxing exercises firsthand. Cindy Shambly of the American Heart Association was on hand to talk about the association's Life Simple 7 campaign.
It's our 7 steps to get optimal cardiovascular health, including, and you'll have to excuse me, I have to read this, more activity, lower your cholesterol, eating better, managing your blood pressure, losing weight, reducing blood sugar, and stop smoking. And so we've got our website, which is heart.org/mylifecheck. You can go out there, you can sign into the Simple 7 program, and what it'll do, it can act as a guide, and it'll walk you through the steps of how things you can do to make better cardiovascular health.
The Wellness Works initiative is off and running for city employees for 2016, but the bigger message is for everyone else. Be healthy, stay healthy, and live healthy. University hospitals teamed up with the Ronald McDonald House to put a mobile dentist office on the streets to provide dental care to the children that need it most. Here's TV 20 reporter Dan Monroe taking us inside this impressive vehicle.
Good dental hygiene is essential for children in order to maintain healthy teeth in their adult years. However, there are many in Cleveland without access to quality dental care. Fortunately, Ronald McDonald Charities, along with University Hospitals, Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, and Oral Health America, teamed up to put the Ronald McDonald Caremobile out on city streets.
Rainbow Babies and Children started the Ronald McDonald Caremobile in partnership with Ronald McDonald Charities. And now we also have a partnership with Oral Health America. It started 5 years ago. We realized that many children weren't able to get to a dentist in a normal clinic setting. And so we felt it very important to be able to take the care out to the children, and that includes Head Starts and neighborhoods.
Beth Truitt, President and CEO of Oral Health America, presented the staff of the Caremobile a check for $20,000 to assist with ongoing support of the program.
We are delighted to provide $20,000 of support over 2 years to the Ronald McDonald Caremobile, and to receive that, Patty DePompe, Dr. Margaret Ferretti, Susie Stames, and Sophia. So I'm delighted to present this check and thank all of you for whatever you do. And Sophia, please get in that picture because this is for you and all of your friends. Thank you very much.
The technology of the mobile is awesome. Imagine getting a cavity fixed without any drilling, any pain, or any anesthesia. Pediatric dentist Dr. Meg Ferretti explains how new technology is making this possible.
So we have 3 fully functional operatories where we go to schools and we do screenings and cleanings, fluoride treatment, and then if we see any cavities on the kids, we go ahead and treat them. We actually have a Celea CO2 laser where we're able to do cavity restorations without any local anesthetic.
Dr. Meg says that even if you can't get your kids to the dentist as often as you should, there are things you can do at home to keep your child's teeth good and healthy.
Definitely brushing twice a day and flossing, even baby teeth. The rate of cavities in between teeth is pretty high in the areas that we go. And also diet is a huge thing. Cut out sugary beverages. Even juice can be very damaging to baby teeth because the enamel is very thin. And as soon as the caries get into the dentin, it can become a pretty large cavity pretty fast.
At the First Merit Convention Center for TV 20, I'm Dan Monroe.
The Scents and Sounds of Cuba has arrived at the Cleveland Botanical Gardens for the 13th annual OrchidMania. Here's a look at the tropical paradise that you can enjoy right in University Circle.
There's a lot to see. We have different themes every year, and this year we chose Cuba. And not just because it's a beautiful tropical island, but the colors, the sounds, the sights, the tastes, all remind us of a beautiful, warm place that we need to go to in Cleveland, especially in January, February, and March, right? So if you come here, you're going to see a lot of color, you're going to see a lot of fragrant orchids, you're going to hear Cuban music, there are different events that you can attend, not the least of which is a night in Havana, which is a big benefit on February 19th. So we hope you can join us for that. That goes to benefit our education programs here at the Botanical Garden. And then on Saturdays, we have Orchid Doctor. You can bring your orchid in. If it's sick, we can pass last rites, or we can hopefully do something to cure your orchid. But anyway, we've got a lot of orchids on display, over 1,000 types of flowers here, and it's just gorgeous. You're going to go into the glass house, you're going to be in front of the watercolor wall that's right behind us here, and you're going to be enveloped in a jungle of beautiful fragrance and color. The watercolor orchids are very special. They're new this year and they're fairly new on the market, and they're grown right in Oberlin, Ohio at Green Circle Growers, and you can get them at local retailers for retail prices, of course, but it's a patented process that takes a special proprietary dye and they push it into the stem of the flowers. And so what happens is the flower stalk will take that color up and it will take on these neon colors that you see behind me. So oranges, greens, pinks, purples, blues even. But do remember, when the orchid reblooms next year, it will rebloom its original color, which is usually white. So, but it's a neat orchid, it's a lot of fun, it's a real neon color that you don't see in typical orchids. Every Wednesdays, we are open until 9 p.m. here at the Botanical Garden, Orchids After Dark. Come with your sweetheart, come with your significant other, enjoy a cocktail, orchid-themed cocktail, and walk amongst the flowers in the glass house. It's really beautiful. We've been very lucky to be partnering with Kent State for the last couple of years, but this year there are 6 different looks, and the fashion students have created these really unique dresses that are going to be here for the run of the show this year, not just at the very end of the show as they have been in previous years, so you get to enjoy them and choose your favorites when you vote. At the very last day of the show, which is on March 6th, for members, and this is an incentive if you're not a member, try to come down and become a member. Then you can be a part of our big orchid sale. And what we do here, because we need to sell all the orchids, we sell them for wholesale or less. So it really gives meaning to the term OrchidMania, because that is a crazy day, but it's a fun day. People can take home a piece of the show that they've enjoyed in February and March. Please go to www.cbgarden.org for more information on the show and other shows coming up.
Thanks for watching TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up. I'm Leah Haslage. Stay tuned for reporter Christian Patterson with the Inside Sports Report. But first, here's reporter Dan Monroe with a look at the history of Cleveland City Hall, which is celebrating 100 years.
2016 will be a year of celebration for the city of Cleveland. You see, our beloved City Hall turns 100 years old. There's a lot of history in these hallowed halls, and if these walls could speak, well, they tell a very interesting story. Before finding its home on Lakeside Avenue, city business was conducted in buildings throughout Cleveland. In April of 1802, Cleveland, then known as Cleveland Township, held its first government meeting in a log cabin to elect township officials. In 1875, Cleveland City Hall moved to the Case Block, a commercial building that stood where the public library now stands. City Hall shared the building with a hotel and various stores for about 30 years until plans were presented to Mayor Tom Johnson for a new City Hall complex. The location, design, and architecture of Cleveland City Hall was conceptualized as a part of the Group Plan of 1903. The Group Plan laid the foundation for the development of Cleveland's Mall, along with the Federal Building, Cuyahoga County Courthouse, Public Hall, the Cleveland Board of Education Building, the Cleveland Public Library, and City Hall over a span of about 30 years. Shortly after purchasing the Case Block building, where City Hall had resided for the past 30 years, the Group Plan was presented to Mayor Tom Johnson. Plans for the new City Hall were finalized in 1907 and construction began in 1912. With a price tag of $3 million, the building was completed in less than 5 years. City Hall was dedicated on the 4th of July, 1916. Crowds by the thousands visited City Hall that day. Tours were given by the Boy Scouts, concerts were performed in the lobby, and current Mayor Harry L. Davis was on hand to meet the curious visitors. Those who stayed through the evening were treated with the largest fireworks display ever seen in Cleveland at that time. It was a great day for the city of Cleveland. Architecturally speaking, the new City Hall was beautiful, a great gem for the city of Cleveland. Not only does this building provide a home for the mayor and the city council, it also has offices for city planning, the treasurer, public health, and public safety. The new City Hall was truly a building for the people. Rallies, voter registrations, and even protests were commonplace inside and around the building. The rotunda made a great place to deliver speeches, as a person's voice would echo and could be heard anywhere in the room. A building like this, however, requires upkeep. As time passes, it became obvious that City Hall needed a bit of a facelift. There have been several renovations to the City Hall during its 100-year history. In 1951 and 1977, council chamber offices got upgraded, and in 1994, the exterior of the building underwent major restorations. On March 9, 1982, a fire broke out on the 4th floor of City Hall. The fire was quickly contained and no one was injured, though the blaze did about $100,000 worth of damages. The culprit of the fire? A faulty extension cord connected to a coffee maker. Today, Cleveland City Hall stands strong at its address at 601 Lakeside Avenue. It remains a beacon for its residents and a symbol of how great the city of Cleveland is. A symbol that has stood the test of time for 100 years. If you've never visited Cleveland City Hall, I urge you to stop by to see this architectural and historical marvel. Happy birthday, City Hall. At 100 years old, you're still looking good.
Thanks for watching TV 20. We are Cleveland.